Jane, thanks for joining us here today as we wrap up the 2025 season. In terms of just the 2025 season, what do you take away from this campaign?
I thought the 2025 year was one that we should be proud of for sure. I think having Coach Fabrice and Angela come in new and kind of form their own identity and trajectory of what they want this club to be, I think it was something we should really be proud of. There was obviously hiccups and speed bumps along the way, but I think that's to be expected for their first year, and also for us as a new team. We had new players come in, and it took us a little bit to get chemistry underway and understand each other on and off the field. But I think looking back, all the adversity we faced, we'll learn lessons from that, whether it's sooner or later. And I'm really, really excited for 2026. I think we've put out a really good picture of what we could be, and I think the sky's the limit for this organization. So I'm really excited to get back to work, and I hope 2026 is in the playoffs and hopefully fighting for a championship.
Thank you for that. Dustin, go ahead. We've got you on mute, Dustin.
Hey, good. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Hey, Jane. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Hey, just looking at your season, individually, you've been goalkeeper of the year. You've had some great seasons. But just how did you feel this season went for you, just on a personal level?
I think not to be too harsh, I think it wasn't what I wanted it to be. But that's nobody's fault of my own. And I think, early on in the season, it was hard. I wasn't in good form, and, getting sat a bit was hard. But at the same time, I was able to kind of reflect on the first half of the season, and come summer when we didn't have games, I was able to kind of treat that as a new preseason for me and try and earn my spot back. And I thought the second half of the season was a little bit better. I think at the end of the day, the more goals we concede, I think that's my responsibility, regardless of how they're scored. And letting in that many goals this season, I think, is a disappointment, selfishly, but it's something to work towards and something to get better at. So I'm excited to chip away at that and try and limit how many goals we get scored on in 2026. And I'll take all of the responsibility for that. And it's just a growing year, I guess. And, new faces, new coaches, new styles of play, that kind of thing. So I'm so thankful for this year. There's so many lessons learned, but I think for myself, I expect better. And I hope 2026 will bring better performances.
I know you've talked about your goalkeeper coach, Eric, a lot. Your numbers went really well in the second half of the season. It seemed like your numbers got a lot better this season. Was there specific things that you and Eric worked on, or with the coaching staff, or just how do you think the second half of the season was so good for you?
Yeah, I think, credit to Eric. I mean, he got thrown into this club last year, and it definitely probably wasn't something he expected. And coming into the pro world in the women's game, I think, was probably a transition for him. I can't, imagine what that was like for him. But I think he's come in and rolled with the punches really, really well. And I think for us, it's all about just chemistry between us two and understanding each other and open lines of communication, what works well, what doesn't. And he has his philosophies and I have mine, and it's just about getting on the same page. So, again, I think in the summer we were really able to just talk through trainings and games and what we expect and what could be better. And I think that just helps everybody's performances, not just mine. It helps the whole team and also helps the staff perform. So I think him a ton. I think he's put his heart and soul into this club for the last 2 years, and I'm so thankful for him. And I hope in 2026 we can keep the ball rolling and get on this trajectory of always improving.
So, last one for me. I know you had some injuries late in the season. How are you feeling physically, and what does the offseason look like for you as you get some rest and relaxation?
Yeah, physically feel good. Injuries are, never fun or planned, but it's okay. Rolling with the punches this year was really hard, and, injuries come and go. But knock on wood, I'll be healthy in the off season, and probably take a week off and hit the ground running again and get ready for 2026. It's a quote unquote long off season, but at the same time, I know we'll blink and preseason will be here. So I'm excited for 2026, and with the whole group, I can't wait to see what we have in store.
Thank you, Shane.
Andres, go ahead.
Hey Shane, Angela shared a lot of emotions when it came to the last home game of the season and shared a lot of optimism for 2026. Do you believe the core group sticking around is sharing the same sentiment?
Of course, I think, the whole year, I think, is something to be proud of. I know there were ups and downs, but I think towards the end of the season, we were really putting on some good performances. And, regardless of the score, win, lose, or draw, I think we were really coming together and playing some good football. And it can only get better. I think we now kind of know a blueprint of what the Dash is going to play like, how we're going to defend, how we're going to attack. And obviously that will get fine-tuned and things will kind of change, next season depending on opponents and that sort of thing and personnel. But I think for the most part, we're in a really good spot to push this thing forward pretty quickly. And I think the core of us sticking around only helps our chemistry and understanding of each other. So I'm excited for everybody to come back and work even harder than we did this year.
Thank you, Jay. Looking forward to next year.
Thanks.
Theo, go ahead.
Hey Jake, congratulations on the end of another season. I think it's kind of people take for granted how impressive it is to play in this league, be a captain in this league. So well done.
Thank you.
Over the last half decade, there's been a lot of up and downs, but this feels like a very steady up or sort of gradual up, which I think is really good for the club. Can you tell me if in the last half decade there's been a season like this at Houston, or do things feel different in terms of increment and kind of the minute changes that are very slow and the growth that seems to be happening on like a steady pace?
Yeah, I think the theme in this league is what team can have the most stability for years to come. I think stability at this club has been not really at the forefront, unfortunately. And I think this year, even though it was leadership's kind of first year here, and we had a few new players, I think the energy around, like the front office, the leadership, Fabrice, Angela, all of them and their team, I think the players felt a sense of calmness in that regard. And, a lot of times coaches say, don't worry about stuff off the field and, we'll take care of it. But I think for a lot of us players through the years, we've had to worry about a lot of things off the field. And, maybe that's been a distraction, maybe not. But I think this year, this staff as a whole, from the medical team to the support staff to the coaching staff, they've done a really good job of keeping all of those distractions kind of quiet for us, which has been nice and super, super helpful for the players just to concentrate on playing good football. So really thankful for them, for their leadership this year through the hard times and the great times. And I think, all of us are expecting that leadership to carry on for years to come, not just for like the next 6 months, which I think has been an unfortunate theme at this club. But now I think it seems like we're not, the players aren't really worried about that or them or how they're doing. And I think with their calmness and composure behind the scenes, it's really helped us just be at ease when we come to training or go to games. So I'm very thankful for their attitude this year. I'm sure it wasn't easy coming in as a first year, leadership group, but I think as someone who's been around here for a long time, this year has definitely felt a little bit more calm, even though the results may have not gone our way. I think it's been a year where we can really just focus on the football and focus on the players and chemistry and working together and that kind of thing. So I definitely think it's been a year of stability, which we need, and a year of growth, and that'll only help us in the long run.
Last one for me, a bit more simple, just sort of what was your favourite moment of the season, or how do you think you'll remember the most positive moment of the season?
Oh gosh, favorite moment. I guess it has to be beating Kansas City a couple weeks ago. I think, they're an extraordinary team this year. They've broken all these records for offense and points, and they're going to make a huge run in the playoffs. But I think for us, that game, it was our last game at home, and we wanted to give the fans something to remember and give them a show that they could look forward to for 2026. And again, like there's been talk about Houston not being a good home team, and I think for us that was a huge performance from everybody just to get a shutout, get a win, and against, arguably one of the best teams the NWSL have seen so far. So I think that was a great game just for everybody. I think we all rallied together, and even though it probably wasn't the prettiest stats-wise, a win is a win, and we'll definitely take a shutout any day. So that would probably be my favorite game this year, was just beating them and knowing we can put on a performance like that at home, especially in front of our fans. That was really special.